Have you ever noticed incorrect flying hours in the air tickets? Especially when you are traveling on the international flights. Narita International Airport, Japan. Narita International Airport connects major cities in the Asia-Pacific and West Coast cities in the United States. Flights from Narita International Airport, Japan to Bandaranaike Airport, Sri Lanka, will usually start at 11:20 a.m. and reach around 5:50 p.m. But if you calculate the flying hours between these two cities, it will be 6 hours 30 minutes. But the airlines will display 10 hours as flight time in the air tickets. Why those extra hours added? Where that extra 3 hours 30 minutes comes from? Let's see this concept in Why Facts in Aviation. Airlines displaying departure times and arrival times as per local time in each country for passenger convenience. For example, if the flight departs from Narita International Airport, Japan, departure time will be displayed in Japan Standard Time. If the flight lands at Bandaranaike Airport, Sri Lanka, then arrival time will be displayed in Sri Lankan Standard Time. But the airlines are calculating the departure time, arrival time and flying hours differently. So for the airlines, it's hard to calculate flight times using local times of each city and country which they are flying. Instead, airlines use one common time called UTC. UTC is the time standard commonly used across the world. The world's timing centers have agreed to keep their time scales closely synchronized or coordinated, therefore the name Coordinated Universal Time. Prior to 1972, this time was called Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. But now this time referred as Coordinated Universal Time or Universal Time Coordinated, UTC. UTC time is more precise than GMT. Because UTC times are not adjusted for daylight savings. UTC starting point, the prime meridian, was determined to be the transit circle at the Royal Observatory in Greenwich, London. The westernmost time zone uses UTC-12, being 12 hours behind UTC. The easternmost time zone uses UTC+14, being 14 hours ahead of UTC. UTC is the time standard used in aviation. Example for flight plans and air traffic control clearances. Weather forecasts and maps all use UTC to avoid confusion about time zones and daylight saving time. Now let's look at the same example to know how the airlines calculate the flying hours based on UTC. Japan is 9 hours ahead of UTC. And Sri Lanka is 5 hours 30 minutes ahead of UTC. Now let's convert local times into UTC times and calculate the flying hours. Airlines use 24 hours time format to avoid confusions. The flight departs at Narita International Airport at 11:20 a.m. in Japan Standard Time. Equivalent UTC time at departure will be 2:20. The flight lands at Bandaranaike Airport at 17:50 in Sri Lanka. Equivalent UTC at destination will be 12:20. Now if we calculate the difference between these two UTC times will come around 10 hours. So the actual flying hours between Narita International Airport to Colombo Bandaranaike Airport is 10 hours. Let's look another good example from John F. Kennedy Airport, New York to London Heathrow Airport. New York is 4 hours behind and London is 1 hour ahead of UTC. The flight depart from New York at 8:05 and reach London at 19:50. So if we convert these times, the flight depart at 12:05 and reach around 18:50 in London Heathrow Airport. So the total flying hours between these two cities are 6 hours 45 minutes, not 11 hours 55 minutes. So when we travel next time we will understand these flying hours correctly. Happy flying!